When did I become profitable? Let me waffle on about that for a moment. I get asked that question a lot when I go on live streams, and the reason I understand it, and I think it's a question I would have asked as well when I was like a beginning to intermediate trader, how long have I got to put up with this shit until I get some money in the bank? It's kind of the succinct nature of this question, isn't it? The answer. The answer is that it's the good answer, and the negative answer is that it's not a switch. You don't get to a certain point and go, oh yeah, that's it, I make money from this point forward. I've struggled up until this point, and then after that point I just make money. But it's good news. You might think, oh my god, but it's good news, because if that was the case, you kind of would be limited to how you're performing. At that point you become profitable. The point you become profitable for me was I started to see profits. So I think after 3 years. I'm not particularly the fastest person, I guess, who did that, I don't know. But the good news is that profitability nearly 7 years later as a trader is something that is my obsession. I think when you first start trading, you're obsessed with not losing. You're obsessed with win rate. And that's a really, you hear a lot of people clickbaiting about my win rate is whatever. Win rate is pointless. It's anyone can get a high win rate because you just get into profit slightly and take that profit. A lot of these bots are based on that. They just kind of get to a tiny profit. They risk a lot more than they win, and they get a higher win rate, but the profitability is garbage. So profitability is still an obsession of mine, and I think it always will be. How can I get more profits? How can I use my capital more efficiently? So it's like an exponential curve. Imagine there's a X and a Y axis, and it's an exponential curve. Yes, you start to become profitable. What you're trying to do is grow that profitability as high as possible. And the great thing about trading, and the good news, is that it never ends. It never ends. The ceiling, there is no ceiling. You're always trying to get more and more profitable over time. So yeah, that's me anyway. That's my case. I think anybody who's a profitable trader will think about profitability a lot, and they won't be worrying about win rate. They'll be worrying about profitability.